I'm Brad Drake. I'm your host as always, and this is part 2 of our television tapings. So let's run down the card here. Looks like it's starting us off. We'll confirm here with All-Star Wrestling, which is cool. It puts things in order for us. So we're going to finish off the move along in the TV title tournament. It's going to be Rip Oliver versus Greg Gagne. We're going to have Larry Zabisco cut a promo. Colonel DeBeers versus Billy Robinson. Bob Backlund's cutting a promo, and Larry Zabisco versus Bob Backlund in the main event. Now, for Championship Wrestling, we're going to feature Wayne Bloom, the Top Guns, Alan West, Eddie Guerrero, Sherri Martel, Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens are going to cut a promo. Nick Bockwinkel will be in solo action. Iron Sheik will be cutting a promo. The Russians will be in tag team action. World Heavyweight Champion Curt Hennig will come to us doing a promo. And in the main event, well, there it is. The cat's out of the bag. Billy Robinson is going to face Greg Gagne for the vacant World Television title. With that said, everybody, let's get to booking. All right, it's Rip Oliver versus Greg Gagne here. So we've got Oliver versus Gagne, and I think this is it still a 12-minute match, or did we change it? It's still 12 minutes, okay. There's Rip Oliver. And there is Greg Gagne. And Greg Gagne is going to get the win here. Next, we have the promo from Larry Zabisco. He's got a 5-minute promo. And there's Larry Zabisco. There is Masa Saito is going to be with him, or Mr. Saito, whichever way you'd like to pronounce it. Both are acceptable. There's Eric Bischoff. And then, of course, he's going to be trash-talking Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens, since they have that heated feud going on. So Stevens and Bockwinkle are off screen. Saito is not rated. And Zabisco is going to be rated on the microphone. All right, that one's 6 minutes. Let's give him a full 6 minutes on this one. He's got a little bit more to say than Bob Backlund will. The TV title tournament continues, the semi-final here. And it is DeBeers versus Robinson. And this one goes 14, I'm pretty sure. And the main goes 16. Yep. Okay, so there's Colonel DeBeers. And there is Billy Robinson. We're going to throw a little screwball here. We're going to have Billy Robinson win by DQ. So that leaves the door open for maybe a little something between these two. All right, Bob Backlund's going to cut his promo, and Bob Backlund, of course, is in a heated feud with apparently Dick Slater. Yes, Dick Slater. I almost forgot for a second there, but you're used to that. All right. There's Bob Backlund. There is Eric Bischoff. And there is Dick Slater. Bob Backlund, microphone. Eric Bischoff and Dick Slater's off screen. Now, when we set up these promos, we're trying to get our storylines across, but you know that these wrestlers are actually talking about their upcoming bout that night, too. So, don't forget about that. All right, we got Zabisco versus Backlund. And this one goes 16. So it'd be one hell of a match. I wonder if Zabisco and Backlund ever actually wrestled. I'll have to look that up. Now, what do we want to do here? It's not going to benefit either man to win over the other. We had Duncombe and Lawler. That was a double DQ. We had the Midnight Express and the Midnight Rockers. Midnight Rockers won by DQ. Boy, this is a tough one. Do we want to give another screw job finish? This is a tough one. Let's have Larry Zabisco win by outside interference. And that's going to be Dick Slater's going to do a run in here. Backlund doesn't complain. He's a pro. So this won't hurt anybody. It'll help the feud keep going. And let's go ahead and start the show and see how we do here. Nice score, 78 here. Hey, look at that. Oliver and Martel got pretty good chemistry. That's good. 74 for Larry Zabisco's promo. I always hope for more. I don't know why we only got a 74 here. He's been tearing it up lately, especially considering that we scored a 100 on the last show for Jerry Lawler. Nice score here, DeBeers and Robinson. Real good match. Robinson gets the win by DQ, of course. Let's see what the takeaways are. Yeah, Robinson with declining physical ability. Okay, nice score. Real nice score. Once again, a disappointing promo, and I don't understand why. How do we get 100 and then we get these in the 70s? I don't know. Let's see how that main event does. 90 overall. Big main event. Huge main event. And I am pleased. Excellent. 22 regions. Terrific. Oh, no. I read that wrong. It was Championship Wrestling. For some reason, I thought it was All-Star Wrestling. Well, I screwed that up, everybody. I'm glad I got the big score. But I screwed that up. Man, how did I know I was going to screw that up too? Unbelievable. So we made a big mistake there. So technically, in the game world, our TV title match, the final, is going to air the night before the semifinal. But what are you going to do? I've screwed these things up so many times, I'm not surprised. All right, we're back doing squash matches here. The good thing out of it is we got a big score for our biggest coverage. Becker versus Bloom. There's Todd Becker. As you can tell in my voice, I'm disappointed. I read the card wrong, and that's what I get. So, all right, Wayne Bloom's going to get the win here over Todd Becker and his excellent mullet. Ron Ellis and Tom Renesto Jr. are going to do the favor here for the Top Guns. Another 3-minute bout here. There's Terry Ellis. There's Tom Renesto Jr. And there are the Top Guns. We're going to get... Yep, Ricky Rice is injured. We'll give John Paul the win. Okay, 3-minute squash. Excellent. Moving right along, Gibbs versus Alan West. Terry Gibbs is probably a much better wrestler than Alan West, but Terry Gibbs has been brought in for enhancement purposes. And Alan West is doing well. He's definitely improved with us. All right, Alan West gets the win. That one is booked out, and Mark Young is going to do the favor here for Eddie Guerrero. There will be no breakdancing here, Mark Young. No breakdancing at all. Those days are over. All right, there's Mark Young. And there is Eddie Guerrero, who is steadily getting over. He's got some nice warm momentum. Terrific. Eddie Guerrero gets the win. And Sherri Martel is going to defend her title against Shirley Black. That one's also a 3-minute squash. There's the World Women's title right there. And Sherri Martel gets the win, of course. Now, we have Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens cutting a promo. We're going to give them the 5 minutes over the Iron Sheik. So the title's pretty simple. Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens cut a promo. And totally screwed this up, so we're going to use Larry Nelson here. And of course, they're talking about Larry Zabisco and Mr. Saito. Going to base both of them on microphone. And Larry Zabisco is off screen, and so is Mr. Saito. Tom Burton is going to face Bockwinkle. This is probably the first squash match we've done for Bockwinkle since this save started. There's Tom Burton. We got a lot of Toms. A lot of Toms. There's Bockwinkle. And of course, Bockwinkle's getting the win here for us. Iron Sheik is going to do a 3-minute promo. And you can only imagine what that sounded like. The promos are very long in this game. Unfortunately, you got to do these longer promos in order to get a good number. And very rarely did you see any 3-minute promos, let alone 6-minute promos. But again, this game is designed for episodic television, and they're going back to the, WWE Raw days where Vince McMahon would stand in the middle of the ring and talk for 6 minutes at the opening of the show. So we got Iron Sheik's going to be based on charisma, and Larry Nelson is going to be there but not rated, and Sergeant Slaughter is going to be off screen. So that one is booked. So we got Fuller, another Tom Fuller and Van Horne versus the Russians. Another 3-minute bout here. There's Van Horne. Great part down the middle, 80s hair. Looks awesome. All right, so we're going to give Boris Zhukov the win here. Zhukov gets the win. Next, we got Curt Hennig, who's going to cut a promo on Scott Hall. And we're going to have Curt Hennig get based on selling. I think we've had some success with that in the past. Of course, he's talking to Larry Nelson here. And Scott Hall. Not Colonel DeBeers, Curt Hennig. Based on selling. Scott Hall's off screen. Booked. And our main event here, ladies and gentlemen, the TV title final is Robinson versus Gagne. This one's going to go 14. These two are also in a feud, so it works out well for us. And it's for that vacant world television title right there. And who do you think should win, and who do you think's going to win? Maybe somebody else should have won the title, but you know how I like to keep things realistic. So we're going to have Greg Gagne win the world television title, just as he was the first title holder of the international television title. So Greg Gagne is going to be our first world television champion. We're at the max 65 minutes here. Let's go ahead and start this show. All right, Wayne Bloom hits the power bomb for the win. We've got the red text of doom, probably because both these workers are not good. All right. Oh, we got an even worse score with the top guns here. Red text of doom. It also doesn't help that Ricky Rice has a pretty serious injury with a bruised eye socket. So moving right along, third match in a row, red text of doom. Alan West gets the win with the press slam. Let's see what the takeaways are here. Inexperience, that's it. So he got hit that heavy for inexperience. Wow. That and his popularity isn't high. He's still getting learned about by the Minnesota fans. All right, Eddie Guerrero scores us. He scores a 48 himself over Mark Young to get a 34 overall, and our score is not doing well for this television show overall so far. Next, 62, leave it to Sherri Martel to put on one hell of a match and get a nice 62 score. Only one takeaway, and it was on Shirley Black. All right, here we go. See, here we go again. Bockwinkel and Stevens, who are lights out on the microphone. We've seen this time and time again where Bockwinkel has scored in the 80s. How would they only get a 73? Tell you, I don't understand TEW and this crap that they pull. Bockwinkel scores an 86, the other guy scores a 19, and we only get a 66. Well, I guess that's midpoint there. That's going to hurt Bockwinkel's overall for the year. Oh well, moving right along. Iron Sheik got almost as good of a promo as Bockwinkel and Stevens. No way. No way. All right, moving along. The Russians get a 54, disappointing score in the semi-main. Let's hope Robinson and Gagne save the day here with a big main event score. And they score, Hennig. Hennig, who scored like an 80-something, he only gets a 74. Come on. What are we doing here? This card's in trouble, folks. We are in trouble. Let's hope our main event gets us a big number. And it does. It gets an 82, 87, and 85, and an 82 overall. Takeaways is Robinson's only one is Robinson's physical ability. And this should have saved the show. Greg Gagne is our first ever AWA World Television Champion. And for those of you that are paying attention at home, the AWA International Television title was also decided in December of '87. So we're keeping things very realistic here. Just a name change on the title itself. All right, let's finish this show up. We lost popularity in a region. All right, fair enough. Let's finish up. Now that we got that disaster out of the way after I screwed that up, we will be heading next for another spot show in Monticello, Minnesota, which is just west of St. Paul, Minneapolis. And then we will be cruising into St. Paul to continue our tour. So, Scott Hall, just like every single other wrestler in the game, now has a fancy catchphrase. And who's the new champion in UWA? Oh, it's a ladies' title. Okay. CSW is running. Yeah. Remember, they got their big new. He's got his big new alliance called the WWA. And I guarantee you they're the only ones that are in that alliance. Even though these smaller promotions could join, there'd be no reason why they couldn't. Let's take a look at our titles here, and there they are. They're all filled now. Greg Gagne, the first ever World Television title holder. Now, a little known fact that people don't realize, the AWA did have several other secondary titles. They had a British Commonwealth title that Billy Robinson held most of the time that was defended out of Canada mostly, hence the name. They had a Midwest heavyweight title. They had an America's heavyweight title, and there may have been a few more. So we try to keep things as realistic as possible. The only thing that's different here for us is that when the AWA introduced the international television title, the world light heavyweight title had been all but deactivated. Also, you didn't see the women's title too much on TV like we have it, or even too much at events. So that's the only difference, but for the most part, we got things realistic here and keeping it how it was. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. And as always, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, Give us a like and share this video around with your friends. Facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. Join the group and join us in conversation. And last but not least, go to braddrake.net and drop me a line if you would like a copy. if you would like a link to the Google Drive page where you can download the picture pack and also the database. So long for now.